Hello, this is Harry Paden. I am the host of Paden's Pulpit. Today's episode, today is season 1, episode 28. And the subject is suicide prevention tips. Suicide prevention tips. This subject of suicide, very important. I have some numbers I can share with you regarding suicide. Again, the subject of today's podcast is suicide prevention tip. This year, 2022, the National Suicide Prevention Week is September the 4th through the 10th. Today is the 8th of September, so 2 more days of Suicide Prevention Week. And it's also part of Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. The month of September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. September 10th, which is Saturday, is designated as Suicide Prevention Day. According to a CNN report, suicide is the leading cause of death among children and adults. But spotting risk factors and warning signs isn't always easy. A lot of times you look at a person, they seem normal, and many people will say after a person commits suicide, I didn't even know. He didn't appear sad. He didn't appear depressed. He kind of seemed... So it's one of those things that sometimes you can miss. Now here's some numbers. Nearly 46,000 people in the United States died by suicide in 2020. Now let's not forget that was the year of the pandemic. But that number is about, or calculates to about 1 death every 11 minutes. And that's according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Worldwide, nearly 800,000 people die from suicide each year. And again, in 2020, there were 1.2 million attempts globally. Again, let's also take in consideration that was a year 2020 where the pandemic was going on, so I don't know how that played into the number. The following are some, not all, but some of the warning signs of suicide according to the National Institute of Mental Health. Again, the National Institute of Mental Health gives these warning signs. If a person is talking about wanting to die, a person is talking about great guilt or shame, a person being a burden to others. In other words, a person just talking, I'm a burden to everybody. I'm worthless, I'm this, I'm that. Or they have great guilt. It's my fault. I'm ashamed. The other, I want to die, I want to live. Those are just some of the kind of risk factors or things that you might look for. It doesn't always mean it. Could be a drama king, queen. But I'm not taking light on it. You still have to take in consideration, why is that person saying it? What's their history? Are they a drama king or queen? Or is this something that the person never said or did before? So if they're talking about those 3 things. Also, if a person says or just feels like, here's a couple of more things. A person feels empty, hopeless, trapped, or having no reason to live. If a person feels extremely sad, they feel more anxious, breathing heavy, agitated, or full of rage. If a person feels unbearably emotional or physical pain, those are another factors. And the final, again, these are just some, but behavioral changes, the change in behavior such as making a plan, or researching ways to die. You know, do you think it hurts if I jump off a bridge? Do you think it hurts if a person takes poison? Just those little factors. Sometimes they may not even say, they may just Google it on a computer. You know, a computer search may indicate that that person is looking for it. A person behaviors withdrawing from friends, saying goodbye, see you later, okay, take it easy, I'm okay, I'll see, just saying goodbye in a strange way, giving away important things. Here, you want my car? Here, you want my watch? You want my this or that? Giving away important items, or all of a sudden just wanting to make a will. You should have a will, but just making the will for no reason. You know, the good reason is that your beneficiaries are taken care of after you're gone, but just look out for that. Another behavioral change takes dangerous risks. Driving extremely fast. Some people, you guys drive fast anyway, but just driving fast all of a sudden. A person displaying extreme mood swings. Oh man, hate life. You know, just happy one second, sad another. Bipolar people like that. So again, these are just some symptoms, but it does not always pertain. Eating or sleeping, more or less. Let me tell you something about myself. When things get me bugged out, I find sleeping relaxes me because I sit up and I stress over things. Shouldn't, but I do sometimes. And going to sleep generally helps me because many times when I'm asleep, I'll come up with a solution for my problem. So sleeping helps me because I don't like being depressed. I don't like being, forlorn. That's just not me. Or if a person starts using drugs or alcohol more often. So these are just some of the tips. Many times, cases of suicide are committed due to depression. The person just depressed or excessive stress. Oh, this job is killing me. These kids are killing me. Oh, this money bills are killing me. The person just doesn't see any way out of it for whatever reason. Sometimes they contemplate suicide. A good movie to look at is a very old movie, black and white, but it's called It's a Wonderful Life, about a person who wanted to end it and how an angel showed him what life for others around him would be like if he wasn't alive. But unfortunately, it's not always easy to spot signs of suicide beforehand, in spite of the signs that I gave you. Stress or feeling stress is another reason for suicide. Again, just being so stressed out. Can't go to that job anymore. Can't deal with this husband, wife, children, relatives, or neighbors, or whatever it may be. That can put you into a funk. So you say, it's not worth living. I'm just too, stressed. My stomach hurts. My head hurts. I don't like where I live. I don't like where I'm, that kind of stuff. But very simply put, stress kills. So if any of the following tips, these are tips to de-stress. If any of the following tips help to reduce your stress level, then I have accomplished my goal because stress kills. One of the major ways to reduce stress in your life is to eliminate as many of the Debbie Downer personalities from day to day. That person that's always depressed, always looking for something wrong. Get rid of that person if you can, because their depression will jump off on you. In my opinion, there are very few things more depressing than a person who is depressed about everything 24 hours, 7 days a week. Oh, it's raining. Oh, man. Oh, it's sunny. It's too hot. Everything depresses them. If you're able to eliminate drama-filled people, it can help reduce your stress levels tremendously. Since it's not always possible, here are a few other time-tested, in other words, they do work, methods to help reduce stress. Laughter. Go to a comedy club. Helpguide.org. laughterguide.org. It's a website that supplies the following facts on the benefits of laughter in reducing stress. Laughter relaxes the whole body. A good, hearty laugh relieves physical tension and stress, leaving your muscles relaxed for up to 45 minutes after. We all know laughter, it just kind of gives you a rush. It makes you feel good, not bad. So laughter, listen to this, laughter boosts the immune system. Laughter decreases stress hormones and increases immune cells and infection-fighting antibodies, thus improving your resistance to disease. Laughter can help you fight disease. Find a way to laugh and, not be depressed and let those things take on your body, because laughter has a way of fighting off these things. You know that? That's powerful. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Endorphins promote an overall sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve pain. Endorphins, that's the body's own mechanism. Laughter protects the heart. Laughter improves the function of blood vessels and increases blood flow, which can help protect you against a heart attack and other cardiovascular problems. Laughter can do that. Another one, exercise. Oh, don't run away now. Exercise, me, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I pride myself in being in good shape. As a former athlete, exercise has always been a mainstay in my life. I always exercise, even when I didn't really need to. Don't play sports anymore, but I like keeping my body fit. Naturalnews.org reports exercise essentially burns away the chemicals like cortisol and norepinephrine that causes stress. So it burns away the norepinephrine or cortisol that causes stress. That's what it does when you're on the treadmill or running or lifting weights, whatever you're doing. At the same time, vigorous exercises releases this word again, endorphins, into the system. Other chemicals like dopamine. Dopamine is part of the system. When you get high, the dopamine level raises in your body because you feel euphoric. But this is a natural chemical, dopamine, without using drugs. Or serotonin. They're also released. Dopamine and serotonin are also released in the brain during exercise. Together, these give a feeling of safety and security that contributes to offsetting some of the internal causes of stress. So exercise. But to benefit from exercise, it needs to be regular. Don't go, January 1st, no exercise for the first year. Probably won't do you any good. I'm telling you, it won't do you any good. Make it part of your regular routine. Get into a routine. And exercise needs to be part of a daily routine. You don't have to do it every day. I don't think daily is the word that I'm looking for. It just needs to be a part of a routine. Once a week, twice a week. Fanatic people, daily, you can do it. But those who are just regular old people, not old people, but regular people, even old people, can exercise on a routine basis, once every 2 weeks, once every, it can be good. Exercise will reduce stress, and reducing stress can increase productivity. Now here's one. This one I struggle with, and I'll tell you why. Crying. And this is a recommendation, but I grew up in an era that frowned on men's crying. Boys and young men of my generation were chastised and told, man up. Boys, men, don't cry. Crazy. But that's what they told us, and we kind of incorporated it and had to be tough. I don't cry. Despite my superior intelligence, it is extremely hard to shed that youthful admonition about crying and not being manly. I still find myself withdrawing when I'm in public and feel the need to cry. In spite of knowing better. I really cry in public, and even in private, I oftentimes try to not cry, even when moments occur that are cry-worthy. Oh, I can't cry. But for the record, crying is as infectious. Wow, start that over. For the record, crying is as effective as laughter and exercise in helping to reduce stress in your life. There is nothing unmanly in allowing yourself to cry when needed. There is nothing unmanly to allow yourself to cry when needed. It does not make you less than a man. It makes you an intelligent man to know that a good cry sometimes helps. It's good to cry. It's healthy to cry. Crying allows your body to physically and chemically detoxify. Say it again, Paden. Crying allows your body to physically and chemically detoxify. Don't be a prisoner like me of erroneous, outdated conceptions about crying, meaning that you weak. Don't let that be into it. Like I said, I don't know why it's a mental block. I can't cry. I'm a man. I cry. I do cry. Sometimes it's hard to cry in public. I hope you guys can hear my stomach. It just growled. Too much information. Now here's one. You guys are going to come back, the ones that ran away from exercise. Sex. No, I didn't say something wrong. I may not be an expert on the subject of sex. Oh, my fool, come on. Don't say no more, Harry, cut. I'm going to give you an expert on the subject of Dr. Ruth. I forget whether I'm an expert. That's none of your business. None yet. Dr. Ruth Westheimer. According to a March 2008 CBS News report entitled Top 10 Reasons to Have Sex Tonight. Now you're listening. Oh, now you're listening. Top 10 Reasons to Have Sex Tonight. Sex relieves stress. Sex sex boosts immunity. Sex burns calories. Sex improves cardiovascular health. Sex boosts self-esteem. Sometimes. Y'all know what I mean. Sex can improve intimacy. Sex reduces pain because of what I talked about, how the chemicals get released. Maybe your head is hurting and afterwards you feel better. It's because that the chemicals saying, oh, this feels okay. You know, sex should feel okay. Sex reduces prostate cancer risk. I spoke on that in the last podcast about prostate cancer. Go on YouTube and look at my last podcast because that's a major concern. Sex reduces prostate cancer risk. Sex strengthens the pelvic muscles. Sex helps you sleep better. To get details on why this report lists each of these reasons, because they go into detail, go to, get a pen, www.cbsnews.com /top-10-reasons to have sex tonight. Dash is between each of the words. www.cbsnews.com / and between each of these there's a dash. top-10-reasons-to-have-sex-tonight. I disavow any liability for how you use this information. Go home and tell your wife Harry Paden said it and get me in trouble. I disavow. This is Dr. Ruth Westheimer, sex expert extraordinaire. So I disavow. I'm just supplying information. I'm just a conduit. information that a major news media broadcast has on its website. These tips may have little or no benefit for those who have mental health issues. If it's a mental health issue, it goes beyond the tips that I gave you. It's a mental health issue. I've done podcasts on mental health. You have to peruse or do your own research, but mental health issues are a big problem throughout the world, throughout the United States for sure. The best advice, if you suffer from these issues, or depression, stress, or suspect you or someone else may, the best advice I can give you is to consult a trained clinical or medical professional. I'm not talking about the Jamaican lady who used to be on and you call her up and she gives you predictions. All due respect to her, all due respect to cousin, all due respect to people who have the gifts, all due respect. But I'm talking about a clinically trained person. Check their credentials also. But mental health issues are a big problem, and it's no shame. Black people, it's no shame in going to a mental health professional. I had a reoccurring dream, and I just kept having this dream, and I had this dream for 3 or 4 years. Not every night, but I would just have it. And it was such a strange dream. And I just went to a counselor and talked it out. But my daughter helped me solve why I was having this dream. So sometimes you will get to a person that doesn't have the clinical degree. Professionals are good, they're trained. But sometimes other people are just, they know you. My daughter, Shahara, I have 4 daughters. My daughter, Shahara, knows me so well. She actually solved why I was having that dream, even better than the medical professional, but it felt good talking because I talked about other issues, and they were and still are issues that I deal with. My mother died when I was 16, and I was right there the whole time. I knew when she took her last breath. Believe me, that affected me mentally, and I never really dealt with it. As a matter of fact, when I didn't cry upon her death, I was told, "Oh, you're so strong, you're a strong young man." Nope, that wasn't true. I just held it in, and holding it in, wasn't good. But if you know someone who is suicidal or just depressed, let me give you some information. Hopefully you got a pen, and I'll just say one thing, so hopefully you'll get a pen and paper to take down these important numbers. I went to a women's conference, a conference for women. It was for a minister at the church, and she sponsored it, and I just wanted to support it, though it was, strictly for women. And one of the presenters asked this question, and I listened intently. She said, "Have you ever given up all hope? Have you ever felt hopeless?" And I thought about my life. And I have never, ever, ever felt hopeless. And I grew up, I was born in Harlem, raised in the projects in Newark. I had my ups and downs in life, but I never felt like all hope was gone. I'm a fighter by nature. I fought to get out the projects. I fought to get out some of the lower achieving schools. I fought when I went to a predominantly white college where I didn't feel, family-ish. I fought in life, jobs, never felt hopeless. And I didn't take on the aspect of my religious hope and faith until about 35 years ago. So half my life I lived without the religious hope and faith that I have now, and I still never felt hopeless. Okay, getting back. Here's one number, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Here's the number, 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-8255, or the Suicide Prevention Lifeline.org. Again, suicidepreventionlifeline.org. You can remain anonymous. and someone is available 24/7. Some people now don't use the phone, so if you're a texter, you can contact the crisis text line, by texting hello, the word hello, to 741-741. You can contact the crisis text line by texting hello, the word hello, to 741-741. Additionally, if you are depressed or suicidal, or a loved one or friend of someone you suspect is either, and want to get information about the warning signs and risk factors, statistics, or treatment, you can also contact the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Their number, 1-888-333-2377, 1-888-333-2377, or the letters A for American, F for Foundation, SP.org. A as in Apple, F as in Foundation, S as in Suicide, P.org. And contact them also at these. These are not the only places for information. I have tried to check to make sure, but all of them checked out and they are active. I hope these tips are useful in helping you or a loved one reduce stress in your life and or prevent suicide. I will try to also write the information in for those who weren't fast enough to get it. Suicide is real. And there isn't really some defining, like, a person commits suicide because of this 99%. No. Sometimes a person commits suicide because they failed a test. Sometimes a person commits suicide because someone broke up with them. And sometimes we on the outside will look at it and say, no. Again, look at the movie It's a Wonderful Life. You certainly can Google that. That's a classic with Jimmy Stewart, my former wife turned me on to it. First I was looking at it, oh man, I hate these movies. But then I got into it, and it so tells you that sometimes committing suicide doesn't do any good. It only exacerbates. It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart. I hope these tips help you. It's a long podcast, but this information is vital. To God be the glory. Please, please, please share this information. Write it down. Maybe you don't know someone now, but isn't it better to have it on hand than to have to be trying to find it out in the time of an emergency? To God be the glory.